Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 84 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. The bubble of the year, Michael DeRosa, is here with us. DeRosa, how are you doing?
Well, Sam, my wife left me, so it's a little hard on a Valentine's Day. So it's tough, you know. I miss her so much. And then as I'm watching Gonzaga and Santa Clara, one, Michael sent out a tweet of like, man, I really like the Santa Clara team. Then Gonzaga went on a run and sealed the game immediately. And then two, as the game is coming to a wraps, I realize I have a leak in my apartment. There's nothing I can do about it now. So it's been a fun couple hours. We're rocking and rolling. I miss Melanie.
All right, Jonathan, what's going on?
Sorry, my volume turned off on my computer for some reason.
I mean, that was just electric from the bubble of the year.
It was. It was. I'm good, Sam. Got to watch a ton of basketball today. It was one of those Saturdays, at this point in the season where, you can really feel the importance of all the games and how much they actually mean. So it's not just, quality matchups early in the season. It's, we know who these teams are, and we're really coming down to the wire here.
I kind of want to make this one quick. I don't know about you guys.
Whatever you guys are up for.
But I got a bone to pick. You know who my bone is to pick with? Our good friend Kenny Palms.
About?
Where's this going?
Fan match.
Oh, okay.
You did not think I was going there.
No,
I thought this was in a Cooley bit.
Texas Tech, Arizona, the 15th best game of the day. Worse than Syracuse, SMU. Worse than Villanova, Creighton. Oklahoma, Georgia as the 7th best game. Throw the fuck up.
Wow.
Come on, man.
That's something.
Yeah, that's
You've
crazy.
got two teams that are top 16 just because Arizona's at home and they're like a 11-point home favorite. Maybe adjust your metrics. Like Texas Tech doesn't lose by 11 in games like this. They play up in these games. They're a good team. And what would you rather watch? A close Syracuse SMU game or Arizona beating Texas Tech by 15? Arizona beating Texas Tech by 15 is a better game. Now, that didn't happen.
There's an aspect to everything that analytics can't always understand. And
I think analytics can understand that when the number 2 team plays the number 16 team, it's a pretty big game.
Okay, but like Vegas, who I've always called the smartest people in the room, agreed with Ken Palm on this. Like, it was around the same number. But
what would you rather watch? A game between two teams that aren't very good, that's fairly close, or a game between two teams that are elite and one team proves why it's elite?
Well, I'd stop short of calling SMU not very good.
They just lost to Syracuse.
They certainly aren't great, but they've had good moments, and they're probably going to make the tournament.
Oh my God.
We cannot let that team in the NCAA tournament.
There are so many bubble teams that in the NCAA tournament, and some of them are getting in.
Jonathan, They are 6-6 in the ACC.
I think part of the charm with Arizona Texas Tech tonight was it's the marquee game on ESPN. College Game Day was there. You get the number 1 broadcasting crew on the network for the game. Arizona also.
I gotta say this, Ken Palm, just have some feel.
But that's not something that he's manually adjusting.
I do think he manually added in the Providence St. John's entertainment factor of the fight, as that's the only reason that would justify as the 9th most exciting game.
Oh no, that was the most exciting game of the day.
Yeah, that should have been number 1.
Let's talk Arizona Texas Tech. JT Toppin 31 and 13. Donovan Atwell hit some huge shots. Texas Tech goes into Tucson, doesn't lead by more than 4 points at any point in this game, trail by 7 with 4 minutes left. Jonathan, how did they get back into this game?
Well, late in the first half, before Koa Pete goes out for Arizona, or like right as he goes out, Texas Tech really started taking advantage of Arizona playing drop coverage with Mo Krivas, and Christian Anderson was just rhythm dribbling into threes off of screens.
Yep.
That was basically it. Like, that's how Texas Tech got the lead down from 7 or whatever it was to 1 at halftime. And credit to them for that. Now, the second half, I think a lot of it was just, two teams with 5 or 6 playable players going at it. Like, it wasn't a test of depth. It wasn't a test of anything, any of a bench. It was, who has the best 5 players on the floor. And I'm not entirely certain that Texas Tech had the better 5 players on the floor than Arizona, but they had the 5 players that were playing the hardest.
They had the better 2, that's for sure.
Couple of years ago.
They had the better 2 is what I would start off with. I mean, Anderson and Toppin were both terrific. I mean, Toppin had 31 and 13. He had 7 offensive rebounds, which is insane. But I think, obviously they put it back into it for everything Jonathan mentioned, but I kind of think the play of the game, it's either a Donovan Atwell 3, he hit 3 of them, or it's this offensive rebound that Leon Horner has with like 30 seconds left in the overtime period. It was a crazy rebound from a kid who really hadn't done anything all game except almost turn the ball over like 4 separate times. He gets this rebound, you reset the play, which opens it up for a miss. Toppin gets a rebound, Toppin finishes, puts you up 3, and that was the game. I thought that offensive rebound was the play of the game, and it was the only offensive rebound he had today. Full credit goes to Leon Horner, a guy who really hasn't done much of anything this year, but he found a way. Aside from he scored in the Colorado game, then before that, the last time he had scored was January 6th against Houston, and he found a way to be impactful today.
The 2 plays you mentioned, at the Atwell 3 in the corner, and excuse me, not the one in overtime, but the one in regulation that he hit before Arizona tied it. Both of those plays, that one in regulation and then the offensive rebound, strangely both on Jaden Bradley.
Yep.
The one in regulation, he gets caught ball watching, and they surrender the lead on the 3. And then Horner was his guy on the box out. Yeah. On the box out, and he didn't box him out. And Horner flies in there, gets the rebound. One of the risks that Arizona took in the game was they seem to have figured something out with their defensive matchups in the second half with Owaka guarding Christian Anderson. Like, his physicality and length, combined with his ability to move at 6'8", seemed to be causing some problems. But you also had to put Karchenkov on Toppin as a byproduct of that. And, not only could Karchenkov really not do anything when Toppin caught the ball in an advantageous position, but he couldn't rebound with him either. Like, Toppin was nothing illegal about it. Toppin was just too freaking strong and good for him.
Yeah, and just looking at this box score, one thing that I think is very funny is Texas Tech made 16 twos. JT Toppin had 12 of them, which it's just kind of how that team is constructed too. And they did all this too with Jalen Petty fouling out in 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this Texas Tech team is not deep whatsoever. You mentioned it. They have, they had 7 guys who played 10 minutes or more. Mm-hmm. 2 of them fouled out in 13 minutes. Pretty much it was just Anderson, Atwell, Toppin, Watts, Horner. That's pretty much what it was for the majority of the game, and those guys all stepped up. But I thought Owaka actually played a very good game. If Arizona would have won this game, I thought he would have been their player of the game. I thought he was terrific.
So I did notice, and I'm sure you did as well, on the final possession of regulation where, Owaka gets the stop on Christian Anderson to force overtime. Anderson, gets into the lane. Owaka, stands him up.
Yep.
He has to put up a really bad shot, to be honest. McCaslin had a timeout to use, and then he goes after him.
Immediately after he was pissed, yeah.
Didn't quite understand that from McCaslin's point. Like, if you're going to let your guys play it out, and like your logic is, I got the ball in the hands of the guy I want with the ball. Like, kind of just have to live with that. Like, you are trusting him to make that decision. And sure, he didn't get off a great shot, but like, the other option was what? Taking a step back three? Like, you can get those anytime.
I'm guessing I would have to watch the play again, but I'm guessing there was something there that he might have missed that McCaslin saw. But yeah, I'm broadly speaking, I'm very much with you. Yeah, if you're going to let the guys play out, you have a timeout, you live with the result. Especially Anderson, who really hadn't he literally had nothing going downhill offensively himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, Awaka did a great job on him. And
yeah.
like I said, Arizona, like they lived with the other matchups because Anderson was killing them, and Awaka seamlessly stopped them. So you had to live with what the other guys were doing, mainly Toppin. Really only Toppin, honestly. I'm so interested by the way teams guard him because he's, without a doubt, I think one of the more unstoppable players that the sport has to offer this year, and was the same last year.
Is he the most unstoppable player in the sport?
I think he might be,
yeah,
but
I think he is.
He will not use his right hand, and it's appalling how teams play him and let him get back to his left hand. Like, there were a couple times where when Karchenkov was guarding him, he would literally open up all the way on his left side and like, literally, I dare you to go right. Yeah. I dare you to go right. And I think one or two times they got to stop. There was also a time where like Krivas was in help, and like Toppin spun that way, spun back, and then Krivas left the help line, and Toppin was just able to go up and score.
Yep.
But it confuses me how consistently he's able to get to his left hand. Like, it happened against Illinois in a game that Texas Tech lost. It happened tonight. It happens all the time, and I don't understand. Like, are people, our coaches, our teams just scared of like their shooters?
I'd assume, I mean, that's got to be a large part of it, right? Because like a guy like Atwell can burn you. Obviously, if you get Anderson going from deep, he's going to burn you. But I mean, Petty and Watts have only been like, let's see, Petty is shooting 36. Okay, Petty's been fine. Is Watts shooting it well this year?
I don't think it's like spectacular.
He's made 20 on the year. Yeah, like, okay. Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. That's a good point. Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
So, like, I mean, it seems, if he's going to catch the ball on the left side or the right side of the floor, which he was doing a lot tonight, it seems like not easy to me, but it seems like, we're going to force him to his right hand. We're going to make the other, post player, forward, whatever it is, help. Because, making that post-to-post pass is a lot harder than making the kick out to, either the weak side or, you're not going to help off, the strong side.
Another thing that I was just looking through, just clicking on guys' Ken Palms, just, that's what we're doing here. Lawan Watts, when you go to like the similar players tab, his most similar player is Darian Williams from last year, which I think is just very funny. I mean,
that's what they brought him in to do.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Catch the ball at the 3-point line and back guys down.
He's playing a straight booty ball. Oh, you gotta love booty ball.
Yeah, but it's great how that term has like become like an actual strategy that coaches employ because of a pissed off Brad Underwood comment from a couple years ago. On the Arizona side of this, and hopefully Sam's back in here soon. But on the Arizona side of this, like, Koa Pete sits the entire second half. They ruled him out like pretty quickly.
Very soon, yeah.
Arizona, obviously, he's not playing super well lately, but it's obviously a huge hit for Arizona if they don't have him. Like, Aristo didn't play tonight either.
Yep.
And, you're down to basically 6 guys for the remainder of the regular season and maybe longer.
Yeah, DeLorso didn't really give you much today either. So that means you had to play the Awaka and Krivas lineup a lot. And I mean, I think it kind of worked in stretches here, but like, because Awaka was able to guard Anderson, but like, if Awaka isn't able to contain a guard, I don't know how much that lineup's going to work sustainably if Pete's out for a long period of time. So I think it kind of kills your spacing too, just because two kind of complete non-shooters. Pete's a non-shooter, but like at least he has like a driving threat and like a high post threat where like his vision is good enough to where he can make that pass that you have to like stand out to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a weird lineup with Awaka, Karchenkov, and Krivas out there. It's just weird.
Yeah, that was exactly the point I was going to make. You lose all threat of high-low without Pete, unless you're willing to try Karchenkov in the high post spot, like because Krivas and Awaka can't make that pass.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't. Whether it's guy playing in front or behind, they can't make that pass. It's a difficult pass. Pete has great touch, and it's a big part of their offense. Like I think that what this is going to have to turn into is first of all, it's going to be extremely difficult, even more so now, to play the amount of guys that Arizona is going to have to play if Pete is out for an extended period, and and consistently be at the level that you were. That goes without saying. But I also think that because of Pete's absence, they're going to probably have to change the way they play. Like Braden Berries has become much more responsible for what this team does offensively lately. Yep. I think he's going to bear even more of that responsibility.
And I think they're going to have to get more out of Anthony DeLorso too. He's just going to, they need someone else who can hit perimeter jump shots if you're going to have to play this way. It's got to be DeLorso. He's really the only other shooter on this team. And he shot, last season at Campbell, he was 38.7% from three. Last year, he made 50 and was 41% from three. This year, he's shooting 29%. If they're going to have to, if you're playing without Pete for a sustained period of time, he's got to hit some damn jump shots. It just at least makes someone else have to be respected defensively, because you don't really need to commit a ton of attention to Tobe Awaka on anything but the offensive glass and like a quick post up here and there.
Yeah, 29% from three this season for DeLorso, 23% in conference play.
That's bad.
So he's going to need to if there's a time to get out of a shooting slump, it's now.
Yeah, and he's not been nearly as much of a dribble threat as he has been in other years too. Just even in the sense of just drawing fouls or doing something like that. He really hasn't. I don't think he's done much off the bounce, and they're going to need him to be just something offensively.
Yeah, spot up shooter. He'll move the ball. He'll hit cutters. That's what Anthony DeLorso is.
Yeah, and that's what they need him to step up and do more of, being Anthony DeLorso.
Yeah, I thought last year he was quite good. He just has not been the same player this year.
Agreed.
Let's move on here. No idea where Sam has gone. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Let's go to Providence, because this was nobody was looking forward to this as the game of the day. Nobody
Well, except Providence fans.
Yeah. Nobody was looking towards this in terms of impact for the NCAA tournament, but late in the first half, St. John's is on a fast break. Bryce Hopkins catches the ball, has a clear path in front of him for a layup, and Duncan Powell does what I can only describe as I cannot believe that Providence fans are defending what he did.
Going for the ball?
Yeah. And it's not
the ball was Hopkins' skull, then he went right for the ball.
Okay, dude. If you have a basketball and I swipe down across your face, on the follow through, I am naturally going to touch a part of the basketball. That does not mean I was going for the basketball.
Well, no, Hopkins had the ball up here and he just still hit him in the face. It's when who is it? I think it's Shane Battier who talks about when he was guarding Kobe. He would just put his hand in his face just so Kobe would take a jumper to mess with his ego. Shaqman just went straight for the face. He wasn't going for anything else. The ball was all the way up here and he still went.
And even if you want to argue he was going for the ball,
he was.
Even if you want to argue that, his reaction after the play dismissed all of that. He was instantly looking for a fight.
He threw an elbow. He tried to throw an elbow, but he didn't fully rotate and to get the elbow in, so he just went here and then fell. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. Hopkins was ejected.
I don't. Was Hopkins kicked from the game?
No, sorry. Mitchell was ejected.
Mitchell. It was Mitchell and O'Day were kicked,
Mitchell, Sellers, O'Day,
and I think Prey.
and Prey and Powell. And there were a couple more guys.
Powell Jones ended up getting kicked out on a play later, and then it was Jalen Sellers was also kicked out on that play.
Yeah. So absolute mass chaos at the amp.
Did you see what I don't know if they're like Providence radio guys, but like they did it from like Radio Row, like they did a little segment from Radio Row or whatever, like having the post game just recapping things. They were like, yeah, Bryce started this. They got a point. They really got a point. If Bryce didn't get hit, this would not have happened.
Yeah.
So, and then like Providence fans are going online and being like, well, I mean, if Val stepped in and prevented another school from taking Ed Cooley, none of this would have happened. It's like, oh yeah, this is Val's fault, right? Yeah,
I'm sure. I'm so sure.
Or fans being like, yeah, well, I mean, Bryce Hopkins played last year, but he didn't really play, so he deserved every bit of it. He deserved that. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, Providence, rock on.
But on the actual game itself, because I'm not in the business of sitting here trying to analyze fights.
That's my business.
As much as I would love to. St. John starts this game hot, and I texted Fetterman because I picked Providence yesterday to win this game on the pod. I texted him that it was St. John's went up double digits to start the game, and I texted him it was my most embarrassing prediction in the history of the show. And then Providence got back into it and took the lead, I think, eventually.
Yeah, they got up 40-39 with 15:02 left.
So wait, hold on. Do I have this wrong? Was the fight early in the second half?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was pretty early in the second half.
Okay.
Let me find. We can probably find the clip pretty quickly. Yeah, keep going.
So because I know this, and I can say this. Providence was only down 5 at half. Right? I know that. It was 34-29. Yes. So this happens early in the second half. Providence had fought back, came out of the half strong, and had taken a lead in this game. And all of a sudden, I was looking like a genius. And then Duncan Powell takes out Bryce Hopkins.
It was as they took the lead.
for reasons still unknown. And
he knew the fans would like it. That's why he did it. He did it solely for the fans.
Literally. So this happens. St. John's proceeds to go on a 8-0 run out of this fight. And just like that, every single ounce of momentum that Providence had was gone. And the game was over.
Also, because Jason Edwards was planning on playing, then 7 minutes before the game, he was like, never mind. I'm not playing. I can't play today. It's like, oh, okay. And then Sellers gets kicked out, who literally is all of Providence's offense. So then it's just Vox Chuck, and that didn't work. And then Jameer Jones gets kicked out 4 minutes later. Just really something. But yeah, Providence couldn't hit an outside shot, which is really just looking at the box score. No clue how Providence was ever in this game. They shot 39% from 2. They made 5 threes, but somehow they killed St. John's on the offensive glass. That's one thing St. John's been pretty bad at this year for inexplicable reasons. But Dylan Darling was terrific in this game. He's been really good lately. His last couple games, I mean, he very punchable face. I'm shocked he wasn't kicked out just because Shagman wanted to just pick a fight with him. But he had 23 and 8 today. He had 16, 5 and 4 against Xavier. And then in the Connecticut game, I thought he played very well in his 21 minutes. He only had 9 points in the end, but it was 9 points on 4 shots. And he made a lot of the little plays, which really helped him. Through these 3 games, he's been very good.
Yeah, I'm looking at this box right now. Duncan Powell played 16 minutes in this game, had 3 points, 5 rebounds, including 3 on the offensive end. So he was actually making a positive impact on this.
Which is the first time all season.
And then he just gets himself kicked out for who knows why.
He's getting his NIL worth it to the fans. He knows he's yeah, I've completely underperformed this year. I can't really do anything. So I'll just fight Bryce Hopkins.
I want to preface this by saying that, I don't encourage fighting, but this has to be the most entertaining moment of the season, right?
I mean, I enjoyed a lot more than the Ed Cooley press conferences and water bottle throwing that other people really enjoy. So sure.
We did enjoy that on this pod, to be fair.
Also, I think the funniest part, I mean, this is the funniest part to me, is the fact that Providence spent all this NIL money on this roster this season and like having depth. Like their thing was hashtag the depth this year, 13 dudes, whatever. And their most used bench player in 3 of their last 5 games has been walk-on Nilavon Daniels. Played 19 minutes in this game.
Yeah, they have. I'm looking at this box. They have 3 guys that came off the bench today. Granted, I don't think Kim English really expected, multiple ejections from key starters and key minutes players today. But Nilavon Daniels, Pateras Pinnis, and Jack Williams, like, these are guys that are like, made up at like the end of like a bench of like a 2K roster.
They brought in Pinnis because he's Fox's boy, I think.
Oh, is that why?
I think so. Like it.
Listen, I'm not, dying to watch Providence every game. I've never heard of these dudes. Like, I still know their roster like fairly well. At least the dudes that like I expected to be contributors for them. Mm-hmm. These 3 guys have never heard of any of them.
Kim called Nilavon his best shooter 2 years ago. So, and then like he would always put him in when he was like really mad at his team. He's like, you guys gotta really like put in more effort. So he put Nilavon in. And it like kind of worked last year. So he's done it a lot this year. And like half the time he does, the other team just goes on a 7-0 run. Like when they played Butler, he put Nilavon in. And then he just had Nilavon guard Finley Bizjack, who was Butler's one perimeter scorer. So Bizjack would score on him because he's a walk-on. And then they ended up winning that game, so it didn't matter. But it was just very funny to me. It's like, all right, he's guarding Nilavon. He's guarding Finley. All right, Finley's going to the free throw line for 2 more. It was every time, but
yeah. And for record, I don't think like walk-ons being the team's best shooter is like as uncommon as you would think. Like anyone can be really good at shooting, regardless of.
I mean, they probably are. Can Arizona's walk-on shoot?
I will tell you right now that the best shooter in the Arizona program is my brother. I'm not exaggerating.
All right, if I ever play against him,
unless there is another manager that I don't know about, it's him.
If I'm ever in any world, if I'm ever playing against your brother, he's not getting a shot up. You're not getting the ball. Sorry, Blake, you're not getting the ball. Yeah.
All right. Let's go Iowa State, Kansas here. This was close for about 5 minutes to start the game. This was, a good revenge spot for Iowa State. We talked about it yesterday, how Kansas is now, I think, going to go like 4 straight years without winning at Hilton.
Yep.
Or maybe 4 out of 5, something like that. They haven't won there recently since Otts got the job. And today was no different. Like, Iowa State looked much more, in my opinion, like the team that we watched in Vegas early in the season and then at Mackey Arena.
Momcilovic I feel, is he just the best shooter in the sport? He's got it.
Yeah, it does. I have a working theory that like he's never missed a shot.
Yeah, like that's what it feels like. And like whenever he does, it's like the heaves at like the end of the game. Like if you took all those out, he's probably shooting 75% from 3 at least.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way.
He's ridiculous. It's very funny. I texted him. It was very early in the game. I texted my little brother and I were going back and forth. And I texted him, was like, yeah, man, Flory just takes Iowa State out of everything they want to do. Because if you're able to put him, in the first matchup, what they did was they put him on Joshua Jefferson. And Jefferson, like, he's one of the guys that could guard Joshua Jefferson in, like, the 4-5 pick and roll stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, either Flory would switch out onto him if he was guarding the big, or he would just go over and just not be affected by the screen. In this game, I mean, Josh Jefferson did see some Flory, and he took advantage of that matchup. Like, it wasn't the same way it was in the first game where Flory just completely deleted everything. He really was good in the first, like, when the game was just a complete slugfest. And then as the game got a little more opened up, they found a way to exploit both Flory and then the non-Flory minutes. And they had Trey White on Joshua Jefferson a little bit. And that, like, it didn't work as well, but like it still worked fine. But it was really Lipsy got going. He was getting steals. He was like really aggressive on Darren Peterson. Peterson couldn't get any look. And then just Momcilovic and Blake Buchanan. Just Buchanan had a couple good transition looks. Jamarian Bateman hit 3 threes, and Momcilovic is the best shooter in the sport.
Yeah, at the start of the game, it really did feel like both of these teams were just trying to stay afloat.
Yep.
You know, neither of them could buy a bucket for a little bit. And then, Iowa State opens up. I think it was a double-digit halftime lead, 10-point halftime lead. And then, like you said, second half, like you could really feel Lipsey's impact. He only scored 11 points today, but there were large stretches of the game where he felt like the best player on the floor.
Yeah. Just in complete control. And he was really, I mean, Peterson only played 23 minutes. You could tell he was very annoyed by Lipsey. Just even following him over screens, just doing whatever he can to get like his foot in the way so Peterson couldn't turn the corner, and just like getting these like random deflections he ended with 3 steals, but he probably had like 7 or 8 deflections where he just knocked the ball away and just kind of took Peterson out of rhythm. I mean, I don't think Darren Peterson's going to have many games where he shoots 30% or only has 10 points, but I think a lot of it today was because Tamin Lipsey, might be the best perimeter defender in the sport as well, and best perimeter defender and the best shooter. It's a pretty good combination to have.
Yeah, one of the things that I think is so unique about Iowa State and that really came out today is like they do so many different things well, and for that reason, it's just they can throw so much at you. Like between Lipsey's on ball defense, they can hit threes. They could play Jefferson as this like point forward. Like Buchanan has been really good for them. Torrey gives them another element of like athleticism that we thought maybe they were missing from this team at the start of the year. It's a very unique team. I don't know if they have this like absolute superstar of an NBA player that's like, okay, go get me a bucket, and I'm going to, but they don't really need it.
Yeah. Like Lipsey's just able, like Lipsey and Jefferson are just kind of real matchup problems. Lipsey's got a ton of speed, but Jefferson's just got the size and the ability to handle the ball in a pick and roll. And you can find an open guy and they can just kind of play that way. And they're, legit defensively. Kansas only scored 56 points in a full game. Like it was a pretty low possession game, but they had sub 0.9 points per possession. Like just doing enough. Like it's a very good defensive team and they can just do enough offensively. This team's really, really good.
On the Kansas side of this, and I don't want to spend too long on this, but like Darren Peterson plays 23 minutes. He has 10 points, 3 turnovers, didn't really do anything else.
He was flustered.
He is no doubt an elite scorer, but like I'm starting to be a little concerned about like his lack of playmaking. Like, because today he just clearly doesn't have it. And granted, he was sick or whatever, and he's been hurt, and like, but on the off chance that like this guy doesn't have it, and he's having a 31% usage rate in a game, like off shooting nights for him, which are very few, are killers because he doesn't do anything else.
Yes.
He's just a pure scorer. And so I'm almost wondering if like, Kansas is going to intentionally try to get Melvin Council the ball a little more late in the season, because their offense, at least against Arizona and, in a couple other games, it was really good when Council had to play point guard. It was good against Tennessee early in the year too when Peterson missed it.
As a team today, they had 7 assists. Kansas did. Council had 4 of them. Like he was running a lot. Council was the only guy who hit consistent perimeter shots. He hit half their threes. Like if they stayed in this game, would have been because of Melvin Council, but 2 of the threes he hit were pretty early in the game, at least. I don't know if the third was also around that time, but like Council was the guy that was keeping them in the game. Like Peterson was very clearly flustered. Yeah, you mentioned it. His playmaking ability just hasn't shown up. He has 1 game with more than 2 assists in the new year. He has 2 games with 2 or 3 assists. As many games with 0, including today.
Yeah, I think if you want to find one thing that like concerns you about like his stock as an NBA prospect, it's that. It's that yes. he has to be the super on-ball player, but is not this dynamic playmaker. And like that's something that can be developed. Like he certainly, is athletic enough to do it.
To see over defenders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you want more than just big Cam Thomas.
Yeah, right. Like and right now, like, that's probably what he is.
Yeah.
So His defense is a lot better than Cam's.
A lot, yeah.
To be fair, but like, yes, agree with the general sentiment. All right, where should we go next? Let's go Gonzaga Santa Clara,
Okay.
because this was very rare that we came into today thinking that Gonzaga St. Mary's game isn't the game of the year in the WCC, and Gonzaga's without Braden Huff again today. Santa Clara is a team that has a ton of momentum. I think they had rattled off like 10 in a row coming into this one, or 9 in a row. They had been really good because of the emergence of this freshman, Alan Graves, who is now getting NBA buzz. And Graves, like, you could feel his impact today, but he wasn't, special in terms of a production standpoint. And like, despite that, Santa Clara is playing well. They got huge minutes out of KJ Cochran in the first half. For some reason, didn't go back to him. Didn't see an injury or anything like that. But in the second half, Gonzaga calls timeout, down 5. They make a run to take the lead, and Santa Clara just seemingly ran out of gas.
Yeah. It was the pick and pop action that got them a couple good looks. Kavalyagov played pretty well at the pick and roll. And then they had Darlin for a 3. Terry Darlin, it was the 1-3 he made. And then I don't remember who hit the other one because Graves didn't hit one today. But it was one of their bigs just popped out, hit a 3. And that's what got them the decent run they went on. But yeah, then Gonzaga just came back. And I mean, the difference clearly in this game was just points in the paint. Gonzaga got any good look right at the rim that they wanted because Santa Clara was playing the super aggressive pressure. And when it worked, like they were forcing turnovers, getting out and running on their own. And that's how Alan Graves had 10 free throws in this game, was just getting the ball in transition and drawing a ton of fouls just from that. But when it didn't, like you're getting burnt back door, or EK was getting a touch, and Aboye just wasn't a match for him. Like he just had no match there. And then just back cuts with either Emmanuel Innocenti or TGF was just terrific in this game. They literally had no match for his 37-year-old ass. They tried to put a handful of guys on him. Mahi tried to check him a little bit. Darlin was on him for a very little bit. Graves saw him a lot. And TGF was just backing these guys down and just beating them with speed. I mean, lived at the rim. Him, EK, Innocenti. Just, it felt like any time Santa Clara was getting a little bit of momentum, one of those guys either had a dunk or a wide open layup.
Yeah, EK played at an All-American level today, and he very well may be an All-American when the season's done.
Should be. He absolutely should be.
Thank you, Mr. Fetterman. Innocenti was the real story in this game. This is a guy averaging like 5 or 6 a game, and in the absence of Braden Huff, he comes out here, scores 16, goes 4 or 5 from the line. He was being aggressive, and he wasn't being overly aggressive to the point where like he was understanding what he was out there to do. He's providing athleticism. He's there to be a connecting piece, choose your spots, and I think he did it really well today. And Adam Miller gets a couple big threes in the second half. You mentioned the TGF component of this. He just he can take over a game sometimes, and tonight he did in stretches. I think that everyone on Gonzaga tonight that played legitimate minutes in this game was impactful in their role, and ultimately why they came out with a win.
I mean, even Davis Vogel had a stretch where he gets the layup, and then Santa Clara's just trying to run, just trying to move off a miss. They try to pass it up. He jumps that pass, and it was this weird transition look. He jumps it right at half court, straight to the rim, gets another finish, 4-0 run, and it gave Gonzaga momentum in a stretch where they just did not have any. That stretch was another thing that just turned this game on its head.
Yeah, I'm glad that Davis Vogel's starting to get some more minutes, because I think this is a really good 4-year college player if he sticks with the process at Gonzaga, and he gave him some big ones tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the key is Gonzaga, 22 assists to 9 turnovers. Gonzaga winning the battle on the glass, and perhaps most importantly, Gonzaga scoring 1.2 points per possession in general. That is not something because we've talked about Gonzaga's offense dropping a ton recently, down to I think 69th nationally over the last couple of weeks since Braden Huff went down. And you get 1.2 points per possession against a really, really good Santa Clara team on the road.
Yeah. I'm disappointed for Santa Clara. Like they're certainly not done, and they'll be in the mix for that tournament title. Maybe couple bounces go their way, and they can still win a share of the regular season title.
The thing that I look at is if you're the 2 seed, you're going to have to play St. Mary's in the semifinals. If you're the 1 seed, you don't have to play St. Mary's in the semifinals.
You have to play Pacific, though.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Pacific gave St. Mary's a scare today.
St. Mary's a run tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morauskas had a really good.
Morauskas and Lewis did some really nice things for them in the second half. I thought St. Mary's did that thing in the first half where they just decided that Pacific wasn't going to score for a little while.
Morrison crying.
Yeah, that got him back in the game when Pacific took an early 9-point lead.
All right, Jonathan. I'm sorry, by the way, for basically falling asleep.
Must be a comfy chair.
I knew it.
That's the thing, though. It's not a comfy chair.
I mean, you were all over the place today.
Yeah.
The bubble of the year, his throat barely is working right now, and he's just trying to hold on.
We're shorthanded tonight, and despite that, we're playing through it.
Yeah.
That's what we do. What did I miss? What did we talk about?
We got our superstar guard that's asking out of games to go sleep.
Hey, I'm just glad you called me a superstar.
You are, for this pod's purposes. You are.
What did we talk about?
We went through Arizona, Texas Tech. We went through Iowa State, Kansas. We went through, obviously, Gonzaga, Santa Clara just now. And we talked extensively about the St. John's Providence debacle.
Yeah, man, I wanted to do that.
You shouldn't have fell asleep.
Yeah. The fact that Lidskin and I didn't turn that into, just fight radio, by the way. I mean, the inmates were running the asylum, and we stayed on course.
No, I mean, I got to say, good work.
The line, "I'm not here to analyze a fight," was used.
Yeah, and then I said, "That's my job."
Great stuff. We've got
since you are alive and well, why don't you choose where we go next?
Yes,
I just wanted to say, that fight, absurd.
I love the Big East. I
want to go to Raleigh.
Okay.
That is just a bad blown game.
By the way, I forgot to mention this real quick before we get into the NC State stuff. That happening while I was waiting for this Cronin press conference was a lot for my brain to handle.
NC State had this win salted away with that 11-0 run.
Yeah, they were up 7 with 55 seconds left.
And Miami just scores 7 in a row.
I don't know who fouled True Washington. I don't remember off the top of my head, but oh my God, what an awful closeout that was. And then I see State fans are no, that wasn't a foul. It's no, it was. It was very clearly a foul.
Some of the On3 guys were aura farming on Twitter, or engagement farming on Twitter. Was this a foul? Yeah, clearly it was.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Miami even shot 50% from the free throw line. They did everything and only made 3 threes. They did everything to not win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And NC State was just no, please, you can have this. We insist. It just a pretty bizarre game. I will say I watched Miami a good bit when they beat UNC earlier this week. For great 2 wins for Miami. Jai Lucas threw out some really intricate defenses that I really liked. I didn't see a ton of this game. I saw mostly the ending is really what I saw. But yeah, I'm imagining they threw out some decent defensive looks, and really, I have no idea how they won this game. Even like the play where Washington got the 3, that was a broken ass play because like Renew had to come to the ball as like the last option, and like 3 guys swarmed him. Then it's kick. True Washington is wide open in the corner. Who really hasn't done anything like recently. He's like kind of like I mean he's been hurt or been out for I think it was personal reasons. We don't know exactly why, but he clearly wasn't like fully back with like the team speed, but found a way to be effective. One of the better perimeter defenders in the sport, and just hit 3 clutch free throws to seal the game.
Miami's really interesting to me because they got this nice combo, point guard forward combo with Donaldson and Renew, and I think like anything that you get out of the other guys offensively feels like a bonus. Like this team, I know it doesn't seem like it with the rankings, but they do win games with defense, in my opinion. Like just because Jay is such a good defensive coach and like the personnel they have is not 100%, I think, what he would have wanted if he had the choice with those resources. But, it's his first year and they're on track now to make the NCAA tournament. Shelton Henderson, again, like really nice game. Like he's done some really good things for them this year. Really, really athletic. His offense is like further along than I thought it would be as a freshman. And
Agreed.
I think that's been a huge lift for them. Yeah,
agreed entirely. And they're getting enough from all the internationals who are just their shooters being, I'm not going to lie, I know how to pronounce Dovrat. I do not know how to pronounce the other name, so I'm not even going to try. But those are really the only guys who are consistently hitting perimeter jump shots. Donaldson had a couple, but like he's very, very streaky. And I mean, you get one from Malik Renew pretty much every game. So he has one.
Like, I want to hear your take on this because I was really high on this kid last year as a prospect out of high school. Like we could see it a little with Dante Allen, right?
Yes. Oh
like,
yeah, I was quite high on Dante
Like
Allen.
I don't think there's ever a situation where like he's this superstar, but like if you could tell me like he'll be, the second best scorer on a top 10 to 15 team. Like
yeah.
Absolutely buy that.
I mean, just in his last 2 games, which are against UNC and NC State, like 2 very good teams, he has 15 points, 5 assists, 0 turnovers in 33 plus 23, 56 minutes. Like he's just doing enough to just be solid.
And I think he's going to end up being a better shooter than
Agreed.
His numbers say this year.
Yeah, I think he really has a decent jumper. He's got a good stroke. I really think he has a pretty complete offensive game, and he knows how to play within himself too. Is the one thing that I've really noticed. Even noticed when he was playing with Boozer Bros and whoever on like all those elite teams. Just really knows how to play within himself. Knows how to play on a team, which I think is just such a huge thing for some of these kids. Some of these kids come up from like really talented, obviously. Like if you're making this level, you're very talented, but you're coming from schools where you are like the alpha, the guy, and you don't know how to fit into a team. Allen perfectly knows how to fit into a team and just will play his role and is seeing his role slowly grow by just being in the right spots, doing all the little things right, and just making good plays late in the game.
Yeah, 100%. Sam, anything? Oh, he's gone again. Bill Self gave him the wave. He's gone.
Agent said sit him down. He doesn't need this Saturday. He doesn't need this Saturday. He's only up for next Saturday.
DeRosa made the call. Get him out of the game. All right. I don't know how much we want to go into this game. I do want to talk Florida, Kentucky in a sec because I know you and I are going to have a ton of thoughts on that.
Okay.
But I do want to mention real quick because I know we're not going to discuss this that like Darius Acuff is so good.
He's special.
Like I can't remember the last time that we had two freshman point guards in the sport like this with Kingston Flemings and Acuff. That
I mean, even Mikal Brown went for 40 the other day.
Yeah, but like those two specifically, like the trust I have in them as freshmen to lead a team like deep in the NCAA tournament, like you just don't see that often.
Billy Richmond in this game was terrific. This is the first time I've watched Billy Richmond, and weirdly, not the first. I mean, obviously I watched him last year, but this is the first time I've watched him and just was like, he's so long, and it felt like his left arm was like 3 times the size of his right arm in this game. Like everything he finished was with his left hand, or everything he deflected was with his left hand. Like his left hand was just, it was all over today. And this is, I mean, he had 25 points. I would be stunned if that is not far eclipsing his college career high. Very, very good in this game, active in passing lanes, catching a ton of lobs, and really, I mean, elite defender. Like you can see the high level ceiling, and Elijah Freeman didn't really get anything going, and it definitely helped that Keyshawn Big Guard Hall wasn't in this game for disciplinary reasons, apparently.
Yeah, and the quote that Stephen Pearl gave, not to it exact, but it was something along the lines of like, he's deciding when the suspension is over, which that's always good, because I'm pretty sure that like Keyshawn Hall would have played tonight if he wanted to.
So. No, he didn't really want to. He's pulling a Fetterman and just decided to sit out. DJ Wagner also, just on this Arkansas team real quick, only playing 6 minutes in this game. He's kind of been taken out of the rotation.
He was hurt a little bit, I think.
Yeah. He missed last 2.
But like, I think like generally a good thing. Like Cal wants to play six guys.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And like of the rotation guys, like DJ Wagner is the worst one.
Yeah, like I kind of think they're better without him.
Yeah, like Pringle, like at least Pringle, like will offensive rebound for you and like make layups.
And
like, Wagner is a guy that like needs the ball in his hand, and the more he has the ball in his hand, the less Darius Akoff does.
Yeah.
So, weird Auburn team this year. They're 14-11, and I kind of feel like they've lost 4 in a row now. I feel like they're way better than 14-11, but this defense just stinks.
It's bad. Yeah. Like they do not guard perimeter shooters whatsoever. You get a ton of threes up against them, and your opponents and SEC players shooting 38.6% against them from 3.
Yeah. And, like it's not a young roster. It's not an old one. No reason, I think, to like be completely out on Stephen Pearl because of this, but like at 14-11 and in an SEC that's like good but not great, you have to start to wonder, like, could this get ugly?
The weird thing for me with Auburn is, I mean, when this guy, he came back to school, there was so much hype, especially because we didn't expect it. And we've seen so many awesome guards this year. Like we just talked about Akoff, we talked about Kingston Flemings, Mikel Brown. I don't think Todd Pettiford's lived up to the hype. I mean, he's probably, I don't know what he's averaging. I don't have that in front of me, but I imagine it's like 16, 17 points. But like, I just don't feel like he's really taken over a game lately.
I never really thought he was a 1.
Yeah.
To begin with. Like that was my concern with this Auburn team. And like Keyshawn Hall is really this team's 1 when he's healthy, or I guess, not suspended.
Wanting to play, yeah.
But like Pettiford was hyped up as this guy because of what he did last year for a Final Four team. And I'll give him credit. He was an excellent player for them last year. But, they would get him in spurts, and he would be sort of this like microwave off the bench for them. Now he's being asked to, do a lot more, not in terms of like what he's doing when he's out there, but just being out there more. And that's a lot to handle as a 6'1" point guard in the SEC who's, not this like crazy mover.
No.
Like he's not unathletic by any means, but like there are a lot of other guys who I would take as like shot creators over him.
Yeah. Like just last year he averaged 11.5 points a game, shot 42% from the field, 36% from 3. This year, just looking at it now, 14 points, but 37% from the field, 26% from 3. And his assist to turnover ratio, just doing the math in my head, is it's definitely worse. It was near 2-to-1 last year. This year it's 3.5, we'll call it 3-to-2. Like he has taken a pretty substantial step back. And yeah, I think that kind of coincides with Auburn, because big guard Keyshawn Hall is kind of the guy, but like you were expecting a lot out of Pettiford too, to be the 2. And I really don't think he's lived up to that. Like, could he go nuclear in a tournament game and like just win him a game? Absolutely. But I think the entire body of work for him has been less than what I expected.
Yeah. I didn't really understand the Phylon Pettiford debates that we got in the offseason. And I'm sure a lot of it was Bama fans versus Auburn fans, but it was so clear to me that Phylon was the superior player. And sure enough, he's right there in the mix for SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah, you're completely right on that one. Yeah, you took the right side of that.
Florida, Kentucky, and you and I, and wherever Fetterman has gone, discussed this extensively today. Not the Florida side of this, the Kentucky side of this. Granted, Kentucky has been playing better. 8-4 in league play now after the loss today. They had won something like 8 of 9 entering today. Only lost at Vandy. They beat Arkansas on the road. They beat Tennessee twice. They beat Texas at home. That's a win that's looking better now. But this team just feels off. And despite the winning streak, it didn't really feel like any problems got solved.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like they won games. I texted you guys this, and I texted another friend who just didn't fucking respond to me. Thanks, person. But Kentucky fans, complaining about the refs incessantly. Florida took 7 more free throws. It was just 7 more. It didn't make sense to me. But yeah, I don't think any of the problems for Kentucky were fixed. The SEC is pretty good this year, right? But just in conference play, Kentucky is the 8th best offense, 7th best defense. They're just a mediocre SEC team, all around. That's just has won a lot of games. Good for them. Good schedule luck. Lucky performances, whatever you want to call it. But I really do not trust this team still. They scream a team that's a first round exit. I think I did the thing last week where I just was yeah, San Diego State's going to get me the 11 or 12 that plays them and beats them. And it's realistically, I could see that. I was partially doing that for the bit, but yeah, this game, really the thing to me is just watching Kentucky play. You just look at them, and my first thought is, we talked about this also. Where the hell did the $22 million go?
Yeah, we were trying to do the math on this, in adding it up, and you would assume that $3 million is probably sided with Jaden Quayton's being out, and likely another, dare I say, $2 million is out with Jalen Lowe.
Which, yeah, I feel like that's
just insane.
But even just looking at the guys on the floor, $17 million for that?
I thought that this team and the way they were going to play was going to unlock a lot of different things in the games of the guys that they brought in.
Yeah.
Lowe included.
Mm-hmm.
Aberdeen has had a solid year.
Fine.
Has not been near the player that they're paying for.
Yeah, they keep trying to jam him as a 1, and some games he just has it at the point guard spot. In a 3-game stretch, he had 12 assists to 4 turnovers. That it's great, but then other games he very clearly just is not ready for the burden that it takes.
Otegaowe was having a good year. Don't think he's been as good as last year, and part of that is the lack of shooting surrounding him. Moreno has come on for them, but Diabate has been in and out of the lineup. I have never been a Brandon Garrison fan. Just have never seen it.
I think it says a lot that, we got 6 games into the season, and they were already starting Moreno. And Moreno was a guy I think they were expecting more from down the line. He was coming into the year expecting to be the 3rd big.
When we were doing our, I don't remember if it was our Kentucky preview or our SEC preview of the early, before the season started, one of my takes about this team was that when, assuming Jaden Quayton is healthy, Brandon Garrison would be out of the rotation late in the season. And, maybe he would play here and there, but if Quayton was healthy, that would more or less be the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jelovich, Cam Williams, how does this add up to $22 million?
It doesn't make any sense to me. Yelovich doesn't do much. Cam Williams was a guy who was early portal. So the early portal guys always get paid a ton. He was the guy everyone wanted while everyone was still in the tournament. That was the thing there. I remember that. And it's okay. But I don't know. He was a okay bench, the non-bench scorer at Tulane, and now he's at Kentucky. Even just the efficiency stats, but like it is still like he was very good, but it's still such a big jump going against that level of athlete. And I guess part of it was just his brother's stock in the frame, and you were just hoping it would work. But that, like Aberdeen, they very clearly overpaid for. Like Aberdeen entered the portal. It was like, oh, he's going to Kentucky, and Todd Golden was clearly not willing to like match. And I feel like we're seeing that there was a reason for that. And Colin Chandler's kind of been their best player in the stretch, and I don't imagine he's getting paid nearly the same amount that some of these other guys are. Like the last 3 games, he's shot 4 of 8, 3 of 6, 5 of 7 from 3. He is single-handedly keeping them in a lot of these games or helping them win these games. Like he's been terrific. Just weird team. I have no idea how you get to $22 million for this roster. Really, and Jasper Johnson too is just bad. Like he's an efficient offensive player, kind of sometimes. This little stretch again, he's been good, but like defensively, he gets taken advantage of. And in conference play, he has a 99.5 offensive rating on KenPom. Tier A games 88.5. Those are just when he finishes the possession. But yeah, like he's just so on and off. And defensively, he gives you nothing. That he's just not. He was a guy who was much lower on than consensus entering the year. And even despite him shooting 38% from 3, I still kind of feel like I was right there.
Same. He played an OTE, which I'm usually generally lower on those guys. Like some of the guys I liked, Malik Thomas was an OTE, and I thought he was great. But, it was very apparent to me that, like, Jasper did not understand how to play basketball yet. Yeah. And he might get there, but his defense needs a lot of work, and he needs to learn how to play within structure.
He's like walking in closeouts. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like that stuff, that stuff drives me nuts. It's like that would, if I was coaching that team, you'd be pulled in an instant if you do that, or you take dumb mid-range jumpers in transition opportunities like your Malik Mack.
Yeah. On the Florida side of this, like, not, the cleanest of wins. Like, the game was played at a super fast pace, so, like, the 83 points allowed isn't nearly as bad as, like, it seems on the surface. And the 92 also is good, but not as good as it seems on the surface. But my main takeaway here is that, like, Xavier Lee continues to play at a much higher level, and if he does for the remainder of the season, I told Sam this the other day. I have this vision in my head where, like, Florida's playing in a Sweet 16 against somebody good, as a 3 seed. They're playing a 2 seed, whoever. And Lee and Fland are just hitting these, like, crazy off the dribble jumpers, and Florida wins the Sweet 16 game by 15-20 against a really good team. Because I think, like, the scary thing about Florida is, like, anything that Lee and Flan do at this point elevate to even further. You are going to be a really solid team if those guys do not play super well.
Yep.
But they have the capability to really take over a game offensively if they have things clicking.
Yeah, they get a ton of offensive rebounds. They had 17 offensive rebounds in this game, and Chinyilu didn't block a ton of shots, but, like, for the most part, he's been one of the better shot blockers, if not the best shot blocker in the country this year. Yeah, like, completely. It's just whatever those guys give you is a bonus, and I know that game's going to happen, and I'm going to be on the other side because I'm going to be like, this point guard's going to defend Lee physically, and Lee's going to have no match. And then I'll hit like 2-step-back 3. No, what's going to happen is I'll victory lap it when Lee misses 2 really embarrassing shots or has a bad turnover in the first 4 to 8 minutes. I'll victory lap it then, and then I'll hit like 3-step-back 3s. And it's like, that's what you get for talking too soon.
Can't you envision like Brian Anderson on a call and like Xavier Lee just like rhythm dribbling into like his 3rd 3 of the first half?
Yeah, and like
put Florida up 15.
Yeah, and something like that happens against like Connecticut, and like Solo Ball's trying to check him and just can't.
The close your eyes and imagine it test, whatever we're calling it these days, Sam and I, failed me with Florida last year because I said I couldn't close my eyes and picture them holding up the national championship trophy. So we're gonna try the opposite this year. I like
definitely said the exact same thing, and I was really in on Texas Tech. And oh my God, Texas Tech could have won that game, and I would have won like all my bracket pools.
that game. As a Duke fan, that game haunts me like almost as much as the Duke Houston game. Like I ran this huge survivor pool too, and like everyone that was left in the pool last year picked Florida, and I picked Texas Tech, and because I knew like we were late in the tournament, all the good teams were still playing. Like, how many teams am I going to have left? So I picked Texas Tech in my bracket. It would have been a great call if that team got to the Final Four.
We are on the exact same page. That was the only non.
Everyone was picking freaking St. John's too, who was like out. And
I was so confident. Like I was like, Texas Tech's going to whoop St. John's if St. John's doesn't lose before. And yeah.
I think I might have even called Texas Tech's path a easy draw for the most part.
Which, to be fair, like
they should have lost to Arkansas. Like,
oh, they definitely should
have. that would have been insane. Do we have anything else from today? Texas Missouri was the worst basketball game ever played.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
I just needed to say that there was a foul every possession.
Oh my God. Yeah, 41 fouls. Yeah, that's not fun.
It was gross. It wasn't basketball. Like Vokatitis is a football player that is like playing on a basketball court. Sean Phillips, I don't know what sport he should be playing, but it's not.
Yeah, why does he play so much?
Because Dennis Gates, since he's gotten to Columbia, has like refusing to take a real center, and like next year it's going to be the same thing.
It's just so bizarre to me. Like every time I watch Missouri, it's just like, why is he out there? He makes like 4 mistakes and then has one really good play and then makes 4 more mistakes. It's like,
they tried to play Trent Burns tonight against Vokatitis, thinking that his height would bother him a little bit, but like Vokatitis scored on him twice in 2 minutes and he came out of the game and didn't come back in. Like Randall did like a decent job battling, but like Mizzou really let Texas control this game physically.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a pretty big bubble result, just in the fact of Texas gets a road win and Mizzou loses a Q2 game, bubble season.
Yeah. 1.3 points per possession for Texas tonight. Like this is maybe the most unwatchable like tournament team. Like of like at large caliber teams, like obviously like they're probably
SMU at least plays fast. USC, oh my God, that team. Yeah, it's one of those two.
Texas has the 6th ranked offense in the country solely because they're like elite at offensive rebounding and elite at drawing fouls. Like this is literally just Texas A&M from last year hiding in plain sight.
Pretty much, like. They're not even like I'd say they're better shooters than that A&M team, but like not substantially.
Yeah, just because like I mean, Jordan Pope has some games where, and tonight was one of them where he just has stretches where he will not miss a shot, no matter what type of shot he takes.
Mm-hmm. And Camden Heide is shooting 50% from 3 on the year. He didn't hit any today, but he's been hitting too. If we want to mention it real quick, I have watched very little of this game because I bet an under, which did end up hitting somehow. Actually, we know exactly how. Shout out Jake Diebler in Ohio State. They just decided not to run offense in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Uh-huh.
Like they should probably like realistically, Ohio State should have won this game. Like they just were the better team throughout. Virginia didn't really get anything going on the perimeter. Mm-hmm. Ohio State, Bruce Thornton was really creating a ton, and then late in the game, it was just like, okay, Bruce Thornton's not going to pass the ball because they don't have any plan for him to. Like they had 7 assists on 27 made buckets, did Ohio State, and Virginia just lived at the free throw line.
Yeah, this was a missed opportunity for Ohio State against a really good Virginia team. And they had them beat and couldn't finish.
Yeah, like it was a huge spot game for Ohio State. Yeah, they just found a way to
I think not having another shot creator out there late with Junior Mobley being out really hurt them.
Yeah. And you don't have another front court player with Brennan Noel. I mean, I don't know what he would have given you today, but like a body at least.
Yeah, right. The other thing about Ohio State is like at this point, you're 16-9. You're projected to finish 19-12, 11-9 in the league. Like you're almost certainly going to be questioning whether you're making the NCAA tournament on Selection Sunday. Like, and without Mobley, like I don't envision this team doing anything to definitively get themselves over the edge.
Yeah, and
in the coming weeks.
I mean, I'm just gonna run down Ohio State, like in just some bigger games, right? Just not including like the bye games. Beat Notre Dame, lost to Pittsburgh. Beat Northwestern, lost to Illinois. Beat West Virginia, lost to North Carolina. Beat Rutgers, lost to Nebraska. Beat Oregon, lost to Washington. Beat UCLA, beat Minnesota somehow, lost to Michigan. Beat Penn State, lost to Wisconsin. Beat Maryland, lost to Michigan. Beat USC, lost to Virginia. They're literally 50-50 in these big games. Like it's win-loss, 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 except for the one stretch where they won two. Like they are literally just coin flip theory. So
yeah, and the other problem with them with their resume is they have one quad one win. They haven't taken a bad loss, really. They've won quad two. Like the Pitt game is quad two, obviously, but their one quad one win is at Northwestern, who's 74th in the net. So like that very easily could leave quad one at any day now.
Yeah, this was a chance to get like a season-defining win, and you had it in your palm, and you just found a way to fumble it. Now to end the season, pretty much they're going to need to one. You need to beat Wisconsin Tuesday, and then two, you're going to have to take one of these games at Michigan State, at Iowa, or Purdue at home, and then win your last two games of the season as well. Like you need one.
That's assuming they survive a trip to Penn State, which I don't think is guaranteed.
Absolutely not. No, I mean, this is the type of team that could win two of those games and then lose to Penn State by 20.
Correct. They lost at Pitt. Who's to say they couldn't lose at Penn State?
On a half-court shot or something dumb. Yeah.
It's great that happened back-to-back years. Unbelievable.
Okay, one team I wanted to talk about, and it's so late, so if you got this far, person listening to this, shout out to you. You're the real MVP.
Yeah. Shout out Fetterman. He's been alive and well tonight.
Iowa's a Ponzi scheme. I hate to say it. I love Bennett Sturts. They were so bad today. Oh, my God. Like Bennett, aside from Bennett Sturts, no one in this team can do anything. Bennett Sturts was 7 of 12 in this game, which not great. The rest of the team for Iowa probably was just trying to do the math in my head. 13 of 40. Just absurd. They can't do anything.
These other dudes can't play in the Big Ten.
Brennan Housen was the guy they brought in expecting for him to do something. And why? Why him? We saw him do nothing at Villanova for 2 years. Then he goes to Kansas State on a team that just the one thing they didn't do was win basketball games. And now you're bringing him in and he isn't hitting shots. And when he isn't hitting shots, he's literally useless. It's literally just Bennett Sturts and the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, Maniau and Banks are good in their roles, but not going to give you much in terms of offense in the Big Ten. I think that
you needed a second.
They were banking on Fulgaris being a legitimate number 2 option. He hasn't been, not even close. Housen was supposed to be this dead-eye shooter that played the Mitch Mascari role from last year, and he hasn't touched the floor. I am fairly excited for some of the young guys on this team, but they're gonna have to do some serious roster evaluation in the portal next year if they want to be good. I don't know if they're gonna make the tournament. They committed one of my biggest pet peeves today, and that's when a team loses the trap game before a really big game and then also loses the really big game.
Yep.
You can't do both. And they did.
Yeah, and their best win of the year is at Indiana. They beat them by 17, just completely dominate them. Mm-hmm. Second best win of the year is either home to UCLA or at Washington, a team that's just kind of dead at this point in the year.
Yeah, they got, they have Nebraska twice, Wisconsin on the road, Michigan at home. So opportunities are still there to solidify yourself in the tournament before Selection Sunday and really before the Big Ten tournament. But with the way they played today, and I know Purdue can systematically pick you apart sometimes. They just really didn't show anything today.
No, like the defense was terrible. They got destroyed on the glass. Like they lost every single facet of this game. It really wasn't competitive. Like this game was over before it started.
Not at all. I mean, you got a chance to redeem yourself coming up on Tuesday. They really need that one.
You do.
They really do. Let's see.
It's
Speaking of the bubble, Georgia is getting like dangerously close to it.
yeah.
So this is the exact same Georgia season we saw last year. They're hitting
mean,
this crazy wall, and like they have no answer.
I know I did. I imagine you did as well. We were just kind of expecting the shoe to drop with Georgia. Like they were just playing this ridiculous pace, and they weren't really a good shooting team, but like you were just kind of bullying teams based on size, getting to the rim. Like it all felt like quite fluky. And yeah, it's even like I was very surprised they ended up beating Arkansas after blowing a pretty huge lead, but they did. And then they go at Mizzou and win, and then just Texas broke them. Tennessee, nothing. Texas A&M, that game wasn't even competitive. At LSU without Thomas and McKinnon, I think. No, McKinnon okay played in that game, but without Thomas, who's now done for the year, and then Florida waxed him. Oklahoma today just waxed him. Yeah, I'm not high in this Georgia team really whatsoever. Wilkinson has kind of been I don't know how much they miss Wilkinson because you have other guards who can just put the ball in the hole, but I just don't trust him.
The effect of this didn't happen until a couple weeks after, but there is a very definitive point to me where this Georgia season took a downward turn. You are early in conference play playing at Florida, who is clearly turning a corner and becoming an elite team, and you are step for step matching them physically for the first couple minutes of that game, and Santo Cyril punches a guy and gets tossed. And since then, they lose to Florida. Their wins since: South Carolina on the road, Arkansas at home, Mizzou on the road, LSU on the road.
Yeah. And since Millender, I imagine Millender was hurt around this time, the Tennessee game, but since then, Kanan Catchings has just decided he's putting the ball up every single time he touches it again, which is what he did last year, and it didn't.
Kind of what I was afraid of happening with him.
Yeah, and it's happening again. And like when he's on, I mean, terrific player.
Yeah.
When he's not, he's going to shoot you out of a game.
The tools are very clearly there with him, but his decision making is the reason that he's not still at Purdue.
Yeah.
Anything else? Duke defensively was excellent today.
Yep. Clemson only put up like 54, was it?
Yeah, they really shoved them in a locker there. Michigan, good win, good second half performance. How this team does some of the things that it does is truly amazing.
Does this win in Gallagher-Iba put TCU back on the bubble? Regardless, huge week for them. Fala hits the layup to send this game to overtime, but TCU just found a way again. I like this TCU team. They're just a team that plays the way I love teams playing, like hard, aggressive defense, and just hoping your guards can get you enough in some spots. And David Punch, I think, is a star.
Since like the end of November, I've been calling them the most bipolar team in the country, and that's continued in conference play. Like in non-con, you lose to New Orleans, you lose at home to Notre Dame, you beat Wisconsin pretty handily, and you beat Florida.
You took Michigan to the wire.
You almost beat Michigan. Yeah. In conference play, you have now wins over Iowa State at home, Baylor on the road, Oklahoma State on the road. Like those are 3 pretty decent wins. And you also have a 3-point loss at Utah, who is, losing players midseason left and right, it feels like. And you have a 26-point loss at Colorado.
Yeah, so Colorado has the only other games Colorado's won in league play are Arizona State, and Utah.
Yeah. Not a great basketball team.
Not at all.
No. I think that's all I got for tonight. Really bad loss for Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Weird team.
Thought they might have been turning a corner. Not anymore.
Yeah. And LSU, I guess, I don't know if they were in some people's like bracket projections as of a couple weeks ago or not.
They shouldn't be.
They're dead. they're without McKinnon for I don't know how long McKinnon's out, but Thomas is now out for the year. I think there's like they're just completely dead. Like
Yeah,
that.
they were competitive tonight for a little while, but Tennessee pulled away.
Yeah.
In that game late. Not the best stuff from Nate Ament tonight, but still impacted the game in other ways. Was the Kempom MVP, and the way he's been playing lately, a night like this is okay.
Yeah, and Nebraska today did not look great for large portions of this game,
No.
but they just found a way to put it away at the very end. But that game was, I mean, that I didn't watch much of it, thankfully, but that game was disgusting. They were down 20-12 with 6:11 left in the first half.
Yeah.
And they found a way to win, so good on them. But yeah, Nebraska seems like a team that is just like kind of due for regression in the sense of like they're shooting out of their skis in league play. They're still shooting 38%
Yeah,
from
and I still don't think they have anyone that I like trust to like consistently create good shots on their own.
Most is their best creator almost.
Yeah, just because you can throw him the ball in the post and like, maybe even use him in like a short roll situation.
It is awesome. It is Nebraska, Iowa is the matchup of two teams that I really want to trust and I do not trust for anything. And they play each other next. So
great stuff.
Yeah.
I know Sam will kill me if I don't do this, so I'll shout out a couple mid majors that we did not get to. Navy, huge win today. It's a historic season in Annapolis, and they are like very close to clinching at least a share of the conference title. They beat Colgate today on the road. Jalen Cox was fantastic. Did Samford end up winning today? They did in overtime. Good. They that's a good season that Lenny Acuff's having in his first year there. Anything else? I saw SFA won again today. Liberty's been playing with their food a little bit, but still undefeated in conference play. Like, do not trust them at all once they play up in competition level, but they're 14-0 in that league for a reason.
Yeah. Mercyhurst, I was paying attention to this game loosely, beat the crap out of St. Francis because St. Francis and Chicago State both had to play 5 games in 9 days. This really weird scheduling quirk because they had to play each other on Monday. Both those teams got waxed today.
Yes. Speaking of the NEC, New Haven, first year in Division I, they knock off league leader LIU today. Big win for the Chargers. I think that's all I got. NJIT keeps winning.
Mm-hmm. Delaware went at Missouri State in one of the weirdest scheduling spots and ended up winning. Good on them.
Really good pair of games in the Ivy League today. Yale needs overtime to beat Harvard. They get it done. They're in first place in the league now. And Penn is in third, I believe, now. Sole possession of third after the win against Cornell.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got.
All right, Jonathan. I've got to get to bed.
Have you been listening this whole time?
No.
I heard his voice. I thought I don't know why. I thought I was open on another tab.
It's so late that I thought I was hallucinating. So, all right, I'll wrap this up. Yeah. If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Sam Fetterman's chair, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 84 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers, and we'll see you next time.
I'm so sorry. Like, legitimately.
It's fine. You had a long day.
You guys I would hit the end show button, though. It's still going.